Hello everyone, welcome to another review. I know it's been 2 weeks, but I said the next video would come out sooner, and it came out sooner, so you can't say that it didn't come out sooner. Anyways, today we're going to be reviewing a figure I got a little while back, and I really should have reviewed it when I first got it. And that is, of course, the reimagined Triceratops. The figure that I personally did not think Mattel was actually gonna make. Because I mentioned the idea of this, I'm pretty sure, a while back. I think I did. Because the reason why I didn't think they would actually do it is because it's the colors that the original Kenner one has are really dark and a little bit more natural looking. And I didn't think Mattel would want to try and do something like that unless they made a really light colored underbelly, but it looks like they did it. So it's here. Although I do wish that it was that this was based off of the canceled Lost World Triceratops, because that would be really cool, by the way. And I would have absolutely loved to have seen that, but this figure is also pretty cool. This is a cool close second. But who knows? Maybe Mattel will still give us another Triceratops in the future. That is based off of the canceled Kenner one, depending on how they feel. Anyways, starting off at the head here, we have some really, really, really nice detailing going on at the horns. There's a little much here on the horns, but it looks all right in my opinion. I think it's a-okay. And we also got some really nice scoots. Well, no, not scoots, wrinkles on the face here. Here, you know, wrinkle, wrinkle, wrinkle. Got some very nice beak texture and horn texture. And guess what? There's actually a tongue in the beak. Yeah, there's a tongue in there. You can see it right there. This guy doesn't have an articulated mouth, but so you can't really see it, but it's there, which is really cool because the original one actually had a tongue in its beak. So that's a really cool little detail that they put in there. And of course, the under part of the neck, the bottom of his head, got some nice wrinkling, a little bit of scaling right there, as you can see. A little bit of scaling, not too much. Bit of a do-lab going on. And of course, the frill is where all the detail's at. As you can see there, on the frill, you got some really, really nice scaling and bumps all over it. Really, really nice. Nice. A lot of horns on it. A lot of horns, or spikes, whatever you want to call them. The head is all plastic and can move all the way around. It's on a ball joint, so you can make it move any way you want. Although, I would recommend being careful with this horn, because this is very, very sharp. I do not know why Mattel made this horn really sharp. These ones are perfectly fine. Beak's fine, but this could hurt someone, so yeah. Bit of a child safety concern in my opinion. You also have some nice bumps and scales on the legs here. No painted toenails, because it's Mattel. They never paint the toenails. Only on the large theropods they do that. Also got some details, some wrinkles on the bottom there. It's a bit interrupted because of this little plastic, this little stripe of plastic here that goes all the way down to the voice thing, the speaker, which is a little unfortunate. I'm guessing the reason why that's there is to hold the voice speaker in place. I don't know. I think they could have thrown some rubber over that and would have been fine, but that's just me. Hold on. Peeling. There's a little bit of peeling going on with my iPad. Don't want that. Back of the neck, as you can see there, there's almost nothing. It's just kind of wrinkles. And going on down to the body, there's a lot of nice bumps going on, some big old bumps. some nice scaling and excuse me, wrinkles going on in the back. The back is unfortunately not in the shape of a bowl like the original one is. Didn't mean to do that. We'll get into that later. But it's not exactly in the shape of a bowl like I mentioned. And for Mattel to do is to make the shape of the back of the Triceratops in the original kind of like a bowl. But this is close enough, I guess. I guess it's just more accurate to the film, so it works. But yeah, speaking of accuracy, this is pretty much just a one-to-one replica of, well, not exactly, kind of a one-to-one replica of what a Triceratops looked like on in the Lost World or the original Jurassic Park, one of the two. Pretty sure if you painted this like the original Jurassic Park one, this basically looks similar to that, except you'd need to throw some dirt on it, because that's how it was on the original. You also got some really deep and weird looking wrinkles on the leg here. I don't really like that. It looks a bit too it just looks a bit too deep, and it just bothers me because it doesn't look very natural in my opinion. It looks really weird. But you also got you do have some nice wrinkling on the kneecap there. That looks really good. And of course there's scan code and barely any detailing on the bottom of the feet, but the underbelly has some detail, but again it's interrupted by the voice, by the sound thing there. Moving on to the tail, you got some more of those scales and wrinkles and some more of those really nice bumps. And of course another thing, the entire body is rubber, with the exception of the legs and the head being made out of plastic. And the tail also can bend a little, if you didn't know. Not a lot, but it can bend. As you can see right there, it bends a little. It bends a little bit, not much. There's some information on the tail there, I don't know why. But it can bend. It's not exactly a bendy wire tail, but it's a tail. But one thing I do want to say is this looks a lot better than its pictures on Target. Because the pictures on Target, the promo pictures on the website, show this thing with barely any paint at all. Like, like I'm pretty sure there was like no paint on the beak or on like the horns here in the promo images. I don't even know if there was underbelly color in those promo images on the Target website. So just remember, you don't need to worry about any of that because it comes with a lot more color than that. A lot more paint. I don't know why they would advertise it like that. It's kind of like the trilogy set Lost World Raptor, where I pointed out in my community posts where it didn't have its stripes in the Target website for some reason. It's very weird indeed. Speaking of the trilogy set, I know Marco Makes made a video improving those figures. He did a pretty good job. I think he made the Tiger Raptor look really good. Thinking about doing that one day. But I'm not even half as good as Marco when it comes to paint. So yeah, mostly because I never really repainted a figure. Got some more scoots on the tail there. That's really about it in terms of detail. So the other side looks basically the same, except the leg looks a little different. The wrinkles look a lot less deep here as opposed to the other part of the leg. It looks a lot more noticeable, but here it's a little bit less deep. But yeah, as for articulation, you have the head on a ball joint, like I mentioned. Can go basically anywhere. Legs are kind of on a ball joint. You can spread them out. Both the legs can spread out. Give it a nice spread. You can articulate. Not exactly all the way around, unless you want to break the toy. Well, actually, you kind of can. You can do that, but I don't know why you'd want to. Back legs can also split a little bit, as you can see here. You can also split a little bit there. There, they can move. They kind of click into place a little bit, but that's just kind of how it is. And of course, the main part of this thing's main action feature is that it roars. There's one. Kind of a T-Rex roar there. It was number 2. I know this thing has like 3 roars. It's just that one of them sounds very similar to the other. There it is. That's the roar I was looking for. Kind of the growl, the build-up roar there. But yeah, overall, pretty decent toy. And its size is pretty good. I will definitely say that when I actually got this thing first out of the box, it's actually bigger than I expected it to be. A lot of people thought it would be like the size of the Hammond Collection Triceratops. I'm glad I am here to say it is not. It is definitely bigger than your typical like Roar-ivores or Hammond Collection Triceratops. I do not have a Hammond Collection Triceratops, so I wouldn't know how big it is because I do not care. But comparing it to my T-Rex here, my T-Rex from my childhood here, as you can see, the Triceratops is quite a bit bigger actually than him. Quite a bit. They kind of scale, but obviously I think the Triceratops would win that fight. Obviously, if it was up to me as a kid, I think the T-Rex would win. But I am not a little kid anymore. Another comparison. Here it is next to the Roar-ivores, I think it's called. Triceratops, right? Roar-ivores. As you can see, the new reimagined one is quite a good bit bigger, actually. If I bring it back here, as you can see, it is a good bit larger than it. If I just kind of... Actually, it's not a great comparison. But if I just kind of put it next to it like that, like so, you can kind of get a good idea of how big this thing is. It's a good bit bigger than this thing. It's a good bit bigger. And then bring out Nazutoceratops, I believe it's called, right? Nazutoceratops. Basically, same deal. Nazuto's just a little bigger than the original Triceratops. Not as big as this guy, though. What else? Oh yeah, here it is also compared to the Lost World baby Triceratops. There's a little bit of stuff on his horn there. There we go. As you can see, here it is compared to it, and you can see that it is quite a bit bigger than the Lost World baby Triceratops. Quite a good bit bigger. Reason why I brought him out is because, you know, that's the only Lost World Triceratops. It's the closest thing to a fully grown Lost World Triceratops by Kenner. Another comparison, just kind of a random one here. Here it is next to the Therizinosaurus, the reimagined variant. As you can see, they scale pretty well with each other. The Triceratops has a bit more bulk on it, but the Therizinosaurus is a bit longer and taller. So, yeah. But in a fight, I do think the Triceratops would win. And to give you a really good idea of how big this guy is, here he is next to the previous review, the Purosaurus. And as you can see, they are basically about the same length, except the Triceratops is bigger. They scale pretty well with each other, I'd say. What else? Another random comparison here. Here it is next to the Danger Pack, I think it is. Spinosaurus, something like that. Again, you can see that they are very similar in size. The Spino is a little bigger. It's a little longer. But they scale really, these two specifically scale really well with each other. They are basically, these two are basically in scale with each other, I'd say. So if you want a Triceratops to scale with your Spino, here it is. Another random comparison over here. Here it is next to the reimagined Carnotaurus. As you can see, the Carno is taller and longer, but the Triceratops, again, has more bulk to it. These two I wouldn't say they scale too well with each other unless you want like you want to pretend this is like a really large Carnotaurus. Speaking of large, here it is next to the to a 93 Classic T-Rex, the Extreme Chomping one. As you can see, the Extreme Chomping T-Rex is bigger. Unfortunately, it is bigger. Don't know why Mattel made it that way. It's a good idea of how they kind of scale with each other. They scale a lot better than this. The Triceratops looks really small on camera for some reason. Looks really small on camera. Don't know why. And of course, here it is next to the 93 Classic T-Rex. As you can see, T-Rex is a lot bigger, which is accurate, knowing the original Kenner toy line, because the Red Rex was famously bigger than the Triceratops from that original toy line. So I would dare say this is pretty accurate to how they scale with each other, actually. This is probably how they should scale. So maybe Mattel was kind of thinking outside the box with this one. Here it is next to the absolutely massive Habitat Defender Triceratops, which, as you can see, is huge compared to it. Like, this thing is just massive. It's obviously bigger. This thing is huge. Like, it makes the reimagined one look like a juvenile, basically. But I think we were all able to kind of figure out that this Triceratops was obviously smaller than the Habitat Defender. But if you want something that scales a little better, here it is next to the Hammond Collection Stegosaurus. If I can get it to stand properly. Let's just put it right over here. So that, never mind, that's not going to work. Having some technical difficulties. We'll do it the other way. There we go. Now I got it to stand. Had to put its tail into the fence. But as you can see, there it is next to the Stegosaurus. I'd say they scale pretty darn well with each other. I don't know why. The Hammond Collection Stego just scales really well with any mainline figure. Just doesn't scale very well with any of the Hammond Collection ones. It's very weird. Choice by Mattel. But I think it's time to get into the comparisons that you guys are really here for. First one is kind of just a random one. Here it is next to the original Kenner Stegosaurus. Kind of put them side by side. And you can see they scale really well with each other, actually. Like, honestly, I dare say they're actually in scale. Because the Triceratops is clearly bigger. And of course, we gotta bring out the main star of the show when it comes to what inspired this Triceratops to begin with, that being the original Kenner one. As you can see, the Kenner one is longer and is quite a bit bulkier. Like, this thing is bulky. But it's got a smaller frill and a much longer face. It just looks really weird compared to this thing. But I will forever love this figure. This thing is really cool still, even though it has a small frill. And of course, here it is next to the Young T-Rex by Kenner. And as you can see, they scale really well with each other, actually. Like, honestly, if you wanted to pretend like the Young T-Rex was an adult, like they were both adult dinosaurs, then I would dare say they're basically almost in scale. Because I've always felt like, because the Kenner Young T-Rex, it's very clearly meant to go with the Triceratops or the Stegosaurus, but I always felt like it was a bit too small compared to the Triceratops. I always just felt like it was a bit small. And here it is next to the Kenner Red Rex. X, the biggest of them all. And as you can see, the new reimagined one is dwarfed in size by the Kenner Red Rex. No Bull T-Rex, because again, it's buried in my other vintage Kenner / Hasbro toys, and I don't want to unbury it. But I do have a new dinosaur that might take its place soon. But I'm planning a restoration on it, and been thinking about reviewing it, but I haven't gotten to it yet because it's not in great condition. But anyways, overall thoughts, I think this is a pretty good Jurassic Park Triceratops toy. It's simple. It's a kid's toy. Nothing too complicated. I don't really know I wouldn't really say it's worth its price, because it's a bit pricey for a Triceratops. But for any vintage collector who likes the original, I would say they'll probably enjoy this. They'll probably be a bit disappointed it doesn't come with dino damage or has like the head-butting action feature, which would have been really cool, by the way, if Mattel actually did that. But I don't think Mattel actually knows how to do that without ruining the toy. Plus, you can't really have the head articulation. I don't know which one I actually would prefer, the head articulation or the head ramming action feature. I don't know. Guess a little kid could just do this and just pretend Triceratops is about to ram into something. But anyway, guys, what do you guys think? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Actually, leave your thoughts in the comments below, because you guys did not leave any of your thoughts in the comments last time. That makes me a little sad, because I would love to hear your guys' opinions on this thing. And until next time, I will see you all in the next review. Bye.